Good morning, Rabbi Sai. לעילוי נשמת אמי מרוס ורספוס מרדכי, live from Miami.
Mazel tov, simen tov, mazel tov, simen tov, mazel tov, simen tov.
You got it wrong here. It's stop. It's simen tov, mazel tov,
mazel tov, simen tov, simen tov, mazel tov, simen tov, simen tov, simen tov, mazel tov, mazel tov.
All right, we got it right here. If I just fired him, that's how it goes. Mazal tov, Simma, mazal tov, Simma. What are you laughing? Oh boy, who's your friend? Remendi, Shalom Aleichem, Remendi. Yeah, big oilam here. This is close to. I wish I could turn the camera around. Wow, unbelievable. Yeshiva week? No, it's not Yeshiva week. What's fine?
2 weeks removed.
Most of the guys are local. You even have Repertz Chaim Levin, twin. Shalom Aleichem, Repertz Chaim Levin's twin
How
brother.
many sign up?
He didn't even sign up his own brother. Rabbi Sai, I'm here for tremendous simcha. It's one of the biggest for me. My bchar, this is the first Stefansky Anichel with the name Stefansky. My daughter has 2 kids, but they're not the Stefansky. This is something special. And, it's my bchar. He's a very, very talented guy, as you all know. It's a huge, huge simcha. It's a new page. It's a new leaf in his life, in our life. So I couldn't help but come. I sat in the middle seat and coach, and it was worth every minute. It was mamish. It was a machaya. It was shmak to be here. Very interesting. I'll show you this email that I got today. But before that, let me just, because I don't want to jump back and forth. I don't have the same abilities I have in the Beis Medrash. I'm just going to read this one. Dear Rav Eli, my husband has been doing the daf since Ksibis. He wakes up at 5 a.m. to do the daf with Rav Eli before going to chakras and then going to work. And by the way, I have to tell you like this. Right now, it's 4 in the morning for me. And since I got here to Miami, this morning here in Miami, I've given 2 shiurim, 2 dafs. And this is my 3rd one. So this is what we do when we travel. We don't sleep. We give daf. You know why? Because you got to do the daf. And there's people that count on it in Eretz Yisrael. And there's the one I started for some reason. I started to do it in Hebrew also. So I had to make up Hebrew. And my eyes are like closing right now because it's 4 in the morning. But who cares? We got to do the daf. That's how it works. He wakes up at 5 a.m. to do the daf with the rebellion before going to chakras and then going to work. He then chazer with my brother-in-law at night using the wonderful visuals from MDY. If he misses a morning, he always makes it up, even if he's in the car. I shep so much nachas, waking up to my husband learning, and even more nachas when our 1-year-old daughter wakes up and joins him. Sorry, I didn't put the video on. She sent the video here. I'm so happy he has found MDY and enjoys learning with the rebellion. He's always eagerly trying to get others to join as well. I'm so grateful to MDY and Rav Eli for bringing this amazing opportunity to my husband and all of Klal Yisroel. Sincerely, C.S. Pollak. Shkaya, beautiful. Dear Rav Eli, thank you for your wonderful share. True story relevant to today's daf. I can't find it now, but I remember reading an article about an Israeli Baal Tshuva in the Tzfat area who'd been a prolific burglar. As he was becoming Baal Tshuva, he stood up in the major synagogues in Tzfat on Shabbos morning, I believe, and announced that he had been a burglar, and if someone's house had been robbed, they should come to him and he would compensate them. I don't know whether he consulted with Paiskim and learned the Sugya and Baba Kama before making this public offer, but many people were impressed with this action nonetheless. Reportedly became a rabbi, 9 months later, of course, and ran a small yeshiva for other ex-criminals who also became Rosh Yeshivas, Mashgichim, and Doilei Adar 9 months later, who had become religious. If you ever come across that in his BT, please let me know. As a criminologist, I want to interview him one day, called Tuv Yishai Norris, Buffalo, New York. This is better than the entire email. Buffalo, New York. I want to tell you something. I walk into the hospital this morning. And there is a doctor holding a Daf Yomi Gemara, Masifta. So I yell out to him, "Hey, you do the daf?" I thought I got another recruit. He says, "I give the daf." So I didn't ask him. I said, "Could I take a picture of you?" I said, "It's very inspiring to see a doctor in America going to work, holding a Gemara. Nothing else. This is how he looked, holding his Gemara like that. So I took a picture of him, and I did not ask him to send me an email, but he sent me an email. Very interesting. Dear Rebellion MDY, unbelievable Ashgacha Prat, the story just happened. I was walking into Mount Sinai Medical Center in Miami Beach this morning, where I work as a gastroenterologist, whatever, something like that. Whatever. Gastroenterologist, you know what I'm talking about. Holding my Mesivta Gemara Baba Kama. I usually don't bring it with me to the office, but this morning I'm on call and I came straight from Shul. I walked in and didn't notice I passed right by Rebelli and his wife. All of a sudden I hear from behind, "You do the daf?" I turned around and said, "What are you doing here?" He told me he just arrived for the birth of the new grandchild. I told him, "Yes, I give the daf in my shul in Hollywood." He was so excited to hear that he actually passed through security. The security guard said, "I'm sorry, sir, you can't go through without speaking to me first." Belly said, "I'm sorry, I just got so excited he's holding that book." He then said, "I have to take a picture," so he took a picture of me in my scrubs holding my Gemara. He said, "This is amazing. I wish the Mazel Tov shook his hand, went on my way around the pit." This story is amazing because it shows the incredible power that the daf has to unite Jews all over the world. It also shows the Simchas Torah that even with the birth of a grandchild, Rebelli is so overjoyed about another year. I was just trying to get another customer. I just want to let Rebelli know that one of the participants in my shir, David Nadowitz, listens to him every single day and joined him in Stamford, Connecticut with the Sim on Seder Nashim. He's there by the Shabbaton. There are also a number of members of Shul, Torah in Hollywood, Florida, that are regular participants in the shir. Shkoyach, wishing Rebelli the greatest Mazel Tov on the birth of a new baby and continues to be my Torah. Sincerely, Dr. Jonathan Mazurek, Hollywood, Florida. Anybody know him?
Yeah.
Of course, Doilim knows him. I really wish I had a. You know what? Let's take a picture from here. I'll take a picture, try to put it on tomorrow because this is really nice. Maybe we'll do a panoramic. No. So I'll go over here. Everybody wave. Nice asylum. Oh, that guy right over there. What happened to Mendy? He left already? Oh, Mendy's in there. Okay, good. Let's see if it came out. Oh, very nice. Beautiful. I have to remember to put it in. What else do we have here? That's it. So, the Koil of the Week is sponsored for the week. Shlomo Rubenstein in honor of Shmuel Pesach Rubenstein becoming a bar mitzvah Mazel Tov. The Koil of the day. Joe Sharp. Smochais Bebasi Baldman. Mazel Tov Lachosin. Zevi Kamyansky. Mazel Tov Baby Stefansky. Wow, very nice. Thank you, Joe Sharp. Masechta is sponsored for the unity of Am Yisrael. The parents of Shprintzy and Avrumie Gross, the neshmat, the yarhtzeit of our fathers. Shlomo Menachem, Yitzchak, Aiyzik, zechus and Benimin, Aiyzik ben Tzvi Hirsch, הכהן zechus and Benimin. Parents of Chodesh. The neshmat Zechrya ben Moishel, the neshmat Zechrya ben Yosef. Parents of Chodesh. Ahron Fraiman. It should be zechus, rebelli. We continue to siyadta dishmaya and teach Torah to Klal Yisroel. Amen. Parents of Yoim, Tani Pollak, the famous Tani Pollak. L'ilui neshmat, my father's third yahrtzeit, Shmuel Menachem ben HaRav Tovia Yaakov. And the art of the month is sponsored by Anonymous of the zechus for easy childbirth for his daughter and a healthy baby. Amen. Rabbi Isai, as that email mentioned, it didn't go through the halacha clearly, but if this is your first time to Daf Yomi, I think there's an amazing halacha that not a lot of people know. That is that if somebody is a robber, he's a burglar, like that guy in Tzvat, got up and announced, "I owe a lot of people money. Please let me know who I owe money to." It says Rebbe, in the time of Rebbe, they were masakin a takana. And they said, if somebody steals from a lot of people, somebody lends a lot of money with interest, and you pay him back, and he wants to do tshuva, and he comes and he pays back that money, do not accept it from him. So it seemed like a guy likes to steal cars. That's what he does for business. He steals your car, and then he shows up at your driveway and says, "Hey, I want to give you back the car." You say, "No. I learned in Daf Yomi, I'm not supposed to take it back. Keep it. You want to do tshuva, keep it." It's a nice loss. Some people have Maserati, some people have other cars, Jeeps, 50, 30, 100,000, who knows, with all the extra pipes and this. It's unbelievable. We have the two heads of different divisions here in Miami sitting next to each other. Now, chas v'shalom, there's only achtos here, only achtos. All right, so we learned that it's amazing halacha. A ganav comes and says, "I want to pay you back." Say, "No, I'm not accepting." Why? Because he wanted to do tshuva. Wanted to be easy for him to do tshuva. But we have a question. It says in the Brisa, they do accept the money from a ganav. So what do we do? So one simple way out of it is to say, that this takana was in the time of Rebbe at the end of the Tanaim, and the brisa that says you do accept money from a Ganav is hundreds of years before, a different generation of Tanaim. Okay, interesting. He's actually brought down in the Achronim a guy wanted to do tshuva. He was already 70 years old. He came to Rav and says, "What should I do? I owe Meiser. I never gave Meiser money." And some say it's a chiv deraisa to give Meiser. It's chiv derabanan to give Meiser. What do I do? He said, "I owe $250,000. He made a calculation. He owes stock at $250,000. What should he do?" I see all you guys are rolling your eyes. This way, that way. How much do I owe? Whatever you owe, give it to MDY. You'll be okay. I'm seeing you like making cheshbonos in your head. No, you're just trying to figure out how much money he earned his whole life. No, maybe it was chaimish. I don't know. So they passing at the end that since he used up all the money, so it's already nechal. Anyway, you ask your local rabbi what to do. But there's such questions. A guy who wants to do tshuva, like I mentioned many times, Nachman Seltzer in his famous book, Incredible. He writes about what's his name again? The guy from Incredible. What's his name? Wallace. What? Yossi Wallace. When he did tshuva, he made a whole list of people he stole from, including a bar that he took some glasses from, and including a place they took some bricks from, and each one was a story. It took him many years to return. He feels that he went through the entire list, but as part of the story how he went to the city hall and he found the guy's address and he went and he this and that until people he gave money that people should be meichel. People do tshuva. Why not? So Gemara says like this: we're holding two lines from the bottom, Tzadik Dalet Amud Beis. V'hashto do'omer Rav Nachman b'shein gzela kayemes. Oh, so this helps us. Tzadik Dalet Amud Beis all the way in the bottom. Last line. If a person has your car and he stole your car, yes, take it from him. Says Rav Nachman. That's not what Rebbe was talking about. Rebbe's talking about Rav Yossi Wallace. It's gone. It's long gone. He ate the oranges in the orchard. He drove by and he saw some nice oranges. He was hungry. He stopped the car, took 5 oranges. It's gone. It's in his stomach 30 years ago. So Rav Nachman says, that's what Rebbe said. Don't take 5 oranges from him. Let him go. So therefore, if that's the case, if the Rebbe's takana is only when it's gone, then I could say that the brisa that says that you take the money, they're both talking about everything is talking about after Rebbe's takana. Like top of tzadikei, kan b'gzelo kayemes, kan b'she'ein gzelo kayemes. So very simple. You're asking me, it says in the brisa, you should take it from the ganav. Yeah, because he still has it. He's driving my car. Why shouldn't they take my car back? When Rebbe said you shouldn't take it from him, because the car is gone. It was 30 years ago. I don't know what he did with the car. He sold it. He crashed it. It's not here anymore, so leave him alone. Ask the Gemara, but that amazing story that we had yesterday. What was the story? That a man comes to his wife and says, I want to do tshuva. I plan on giving back every dime I stole. So she said, Reika, you emptiness, you piece of nothing, you. If you're going to start giving back things to people, you're not going to have a gartel. You're not going to have a navnate. So I said yesterday, there's a shul in New York that has a reel of rope, of gartel rope. And if you forget your gartel, you call me, snip, snip. So guys, send me a picture. Here it is. Shiners. That's right. Who said so? Yeah, here it is. Here it is. The whole roll of gartel rope, or whatever you want to call it. Black string. And scissors that's tied with a gartel rope. And this Perel underneath. You can wash your hands before, after, before, so you know not time of the whole thing. And you can daven kavana. So Va'avne, she said, what, are you going to return your gartel now? If it's visible, it's alive, it's still there, he's wearing it. Yes, return the belt that you stole. So the Gemara, okay, we have to be doichik a little bit. Mayavne. She's talking about, I want to repay everybody with money, like Rav Yossi Wallace. I'm going to pay money. I don't have the belt. I know I stole the belt, so I'm going to pay with money. So the Gemara, you tell me, in a case where it's right there in front of you, Chachamim said you have to return it. Bari Marish, the famous case of Marish. Here's Marish. So Marish, here goes. This guy sees a nice beam in somebody else's house, and he does what every good Ganav does. Removes the beam, and he brings it into his own home. Now, if you're mechayivim to take it out like he just did, what could happen is a very big loss will happen. This is back in the day when Yoshi was inexperienced. I see. This is kinderspiel already. But anyways, his house will fall down. But at the end of the day, this beam is right there in front of everybody. On a beam that's built into a fancy house. You don't have to give it back. You just give money. You don't give money. You don't have to return it. Why? Because you want people to do tshuva. So you do give money. Sorry, if you give money, you don't take the beam out of the house. Says the Gemara, that's a special dispensation. Why? Because the whole house will fall down. We're not mechayiv a person to knock down his house in order to give back one beam. Say the bira shavi rabbanan kidulesa. So rabbanan made as if it's gone. Now remember, if it's gone completely, what do we say? Rebbe says you don't have to give it back at all. But this case is very different. We have a very interesting case. Everybody saying we have a case. If it's here, you stole a cell phone. It's here. Give it back. It's gone. Don't give it back. We have a middle case. We have a case where the beam is here. You don't give it back, or you have to give back cash. It's different. Either you don't give back anything, no cash, no phone. Give back phone. In this case, you give back the cash of the phone. Okay, so it's three different cases. Why? Because it's here. So if it's here, you have to give it back. But we don't want you to give it back because you're going to break down your house. Okay, so give cash. Nice picture we have here of a guy that stole a sheep and he sheared the wool after he stole it. Oh, this is schmack. Here's a guy that has a cow. He stole a cow and she gave birth. It says on the bed, my husband is a MDY daffer, is a daffer. Okay, looking for a missing cow. Kitzer, you get the idea. She gave birth after he stole the cow. Very interesting. This is an interesting halacha. Where did Remeir come up with this? That what? That he has to pay even for the Vlad, the calf that was born after the Geneva. You have to pay for wool that occurred after the Geneva. Why? Where do you get it from? The answer is, I'm going to cheat and I'll tell you. The answer is, the reason why he has to pay everything is because it's a knas. It doesn't make sense logically. These are improvements that happened to the Ganav after he stole it. So why should he have to pay? Knas. Okay. We have two shittas that seem very similar. Rabbi Yehuda and Rabbi Shimon. Rabbi Yehuda says that he gives back the actual animal. And the difference, you have to pay the difference. Let me see if I could come up with it without. No, not this one. Oh, this is better. So it goes like this. Let's say a pregnant cow is 130. A non-pregnant cow all the way on the left is 100. A calf is worth 50. So the 50, the Ganav gets to keep. The 100 he has to pay because he stole 100. But he stole a pregnant cow. And now she's not pregnant anymore. So he gives back the 100, but he has to pay the difference between a pregnant cow and a non-pregnant cow, which is $30. So he gets to keep the baby, the Vlad, but he has to pay the $30 difference. That you assess it with money. So what is that? Well, it seems like he's saying the same thing as Rabbi Yehuda. The Gemara is going to explain the difference. I already told you the answer, but the Gemara asked the question. My time to Remeir. Why does Remeir say you have to pay the full value, the full $50 of this calf? It doesn't make sense. He stole a pregnant cow, so he should pay $130. Why is he paying $150? Is it the pshat that Remeir holds that a difference, when you make something change, when you make a big change in a piece of stolen good, nothing happened. In other words, it remains the owner's from beginning to end, and whatever happened, happened. So this cow gave birth. Cow gave birth. Whose gain is it? The original owners. You, the ganav, are not koinet b'shinu. It didn't become yours ever. Maybe that's the pshat. And since it never became the ganav's, so this cow that was pregnant gave birth. So who should the gain go to? The original owner. Or Dilma, perhaps no. Ba'al mashinu koina. In fact, the ganav, it did become the ganav's. Why? Because there's a major change here. Went from a big pregnant animal to a non-pregnant animal. There is a knas. There's a famous saying in Gemara, we don't want somebody that doesn't have air to gain. What happened? He stole an animal that was worth $130. 2 days later, the animal gave birth. He makes a $50 gain from the baby. He just has to pay $30 difference. He basically has to give $130 to the original owner, and he gets to keep $20. So being a ganav paid off for him. We don't want ganavim to make money. So therefore, says Rameir, give him you have to pay $150, not $130. There shouldn't be any gain for the ganav. L'may nafkamina. Says more beautiful nafkamina. What if the animal started off was worth 1,000, and now the animal's worth 500? If you say that it never left the original owner's domain, so this ganav could take a $500 animal, even though it was worth $1,000, and just put it right back in his backyard and Am Yisrael. He's done. But if you say that we're just trying to punish him, so that's not a punishment. If you could take a 500, if you made the animal go from 1,000 to 500, if you made it lose value and you can put it right back in, that's not a punishment. Tashma goes by him of his skino. A person steals an animal and he leaves it by him for 20 years. Animal is worthless now. It's an old animal. Avodim. He takes a 20-year-old slave, and when the slave is 90 years old, he goes and returns it. Avodim iskinu mishalim kishasak zela. He has to pay the value of the slave, of the animal, the day it was stolen. In other words, what does that tell me? It tells me that shinui is koina. The moment he stole it, it became his because the slave went down in value. We know. We lose brain cells from the age of 20 on, right? Cells in general, all our cells are dying slowly. There's a famous mashal that the Chofetz Chaim says. The Chofetz Chaim says, "Bring your brother. Where is he? not the traitor brother, the other brother."
That's Akimin.
That's right. I know. Yeah, you're right. Sorry. Don't worry. Anybody can leave whenever they want. You don't have to apologize. There's a zechus that you came. By the way, I appreciate. I tell people some people come the last 2 minutes of the shir. That's also chashuv. Some people come for the first 2 minutes of the shir, as long as it's not just emails. A little bit. Zayigizon. So says the Chofetz Chaim. A guy walks into the bar with a wallet full of cash, and he starts buying drinks, and he's getting more and more shikr, wasted, whatever you want to call it. He becomes shikr, and he's having a great time. And he looks at his wallet, and there's less and less money. And then he finally looks in there, and he says, "There's one cup of good." That's what he says in what was this? Kitzer, the Chofetz Chaim says this, and people are looking at him. They can't believe the guy's there. It's 4 a.m. already, and he's just spending and spending. And he has almost nothing left. And what is he going to do? There's one bill left. And what does the guy do? Last bill, he buys a drink. The guys there in the bar, they can't believe it. They're making fun of him. Says the Chofetz Chaim, we're all that guy in the bar. We're born with a whole life in front of us. And we enjoy it. We're laughing. I did this and I did that. I'm 20 years old. And he says, you're 20 years old and you think you have all that money left. You have all those. Not true. Look at it. Your wallet is now half only. And then it's a quarter. And you're down to your last year, your last week, and you're still trying to enjoy life instead of being smart about it. That's what he says. So this Eved that became old is worthless now. So in this part, later on we're going to see Rav changes it. But right now, Remeir makes a distinction between a slave and a cow. Ba'avodim, he says, you could say, take the slave. I'm not paying you what it was worth 20 years ago. I'm paying you what it was worth. A 90-year-old slave today, take it. Here, it's yours. Here. You thought the slave is gone. Shalom, here it is. Shalom. But when it comes to a cow, you have to pay what it was worth 20 years ago, not what it's worth today. Says but if in fact your mayor holds that a change doesn't make a difference at all, it's always the owners. No matter how many years go by, a change doesn't create a new ownership. So the original owner is the owner, and if the slave is 90, and if the animal is 35, whatever the age of animals are before they pass on, you just give it right back to the owner. So then why does he make a distinction between a slave and an animal? An animal also, even if the animal is on its last leg, so to speak, he can just take the animal and put it right back in the guy's domain and say, I gave it back to you. Here, this is what I stole from you. Ella, what do you see from here? You see, in fact, that a change makes a difference. That's why you can't give him back the animal. Oh. So, no, so in fact, maybe he could be doesn't say that Remeir was talking to Rabbanan, not in his own shit. According to me, I hold that a change, doesn't change ownership. And even by an animal, it should go right back to the owner. But I'm talking to you. You, Rabbanan, hold, I'm reading Shinu Koina. You say that it changes, that a change does affect ownership. I want to make a distinction, says Remeir, between a slave and a cow. Why? Because we know in the whole Shas that a slave is exactly like karka. The way you buy a piece of land, that's how you buy a slave. There's different halachas. So just like you can't steal a piece of real estate, you can't steal a slave. That's not true. You're right. Typically speaking, a slave is like karka. But physically, it's not a karka. I can lift up a slave and put him in a box and steal him. I think that's what they're saying. In this case, a slave is like metaltalin. Not always. I don't think Rabban's saying always. When it comes to stealing, it's like a piece of metaltalin. When it comes to kinyanim and other things, it's like karka. Toshma. If he goes to a shop and he says, take this wool and change the color from white to red. And he goes and he makes it black. Shachar, make this black and he makes it red. I have a gewaldic, this is a Yoshi special. So, first of all, this is what tzvi is, right? You take white wool, you make it red. But check this out. Gewaldic stuff. We dye your frock. There's a guy walking in. He walks in there. I need my frock dyed black, please. It's a guy with a red frock. So we're going to see that this guy is a shtickle Israeli. Rashi says that there are people that make this mistake. You don't see it so much in America. It's not that common anymore. And I just really see it all the time. It's very common. You go, right? Michael, you probably went to a store and said, listen, I want to buy this black faucet. And they'll say, no. Black's not good for you. You should take silver, right? They give you advice. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, totally. You get the merkaz.
And sometimes you tell your contractor, happened to me. I had to fire this guy. I was very sad. I tell him, build this wall over here. He says, no, you don't want it over there. I said, trust me, I've been building for a long time, longer than you. I need the wall over here because if it rains, I need to have access behind the wall. He says, no problem. I go to America, I come back, the wall is where I'm serious. MDY offices now, the wall is up against another wall. I'm like, what if it's going to rain? Trust me. And then the first rain, water's pouring in. And I have no way to get to the other side of the wall. Anyway, they like to give advice over there. So Rashi says unsolicited. Right. Yeah, no, if you ask a guy, hey, what do you think is better? Isn't that So in America, they're so like anti that, so they won't even give you that advice. I don't know. Each one has their own. I'm asking, what do you like better? They won't tell you.
Your responsibility. Yeah, I don't want it.
It depends. This, that. You go to a restaurant. Could you give me a? No. It's all good. All the food is good. No, tell me what. Okay, fine. Sometimes you push them. They tell you. That's why I love them. There's a gewaltige Rebach Mordechai Zrachi Zechroin and Levracha. I miss him. This one is a little different. So he tells the okay. I don't even know if I should say it. They say it about him. It's not true. It can't be true. Like by Rav Shach Levaya, he got up and he said, "Oh, the Gadol Ador was nifter, and now it's only me and whatever, one other one." I don't know if it can't be that he said it. Impossible. But if you know what, they'll deny it for sure. But anyway, they say it about him because that, he had a certain style. So anyways, ask him. He'll laugh at you. He'll say, "No way, Mr. Sugar." No, he wouldn't say something like that. Ask him about this story. This one is better. He makes an announcement. He says, "Rabbi said this Shir Klali coming up, I'm going to be wearing a frock, olive color frock. The whole base is full, jam packed to the gills. Everyone wants to see your book, Mordechai Zrachi, the olive color frock, and the door opens up. He shows up with his black frock and gives the shir klali. Not a single person could leave. So after the shir, some chutzah went over and said, Rashiva said, olive color frock. He said, what? You never saw a black olive in your life? Okay. Anyways, I guess you're allowed to be going of das for some Torah. Ask him about this one. Then once he says yes on this one, ask him about the other one. I don't know, like something like that. Okay. He was gewaldig. He tells the guy, we'll see Rashi inside on Amud Beis. He tells the guy, I wanted black. He gives him a red one. No, you sepastim besed. Right is better for you. Red is better. I don't think a frock should be black for you. Shach as well, but I'm cheating a little bit. It's not mamish. The Gemara is talking about when he gives him wool. Wool that's white is only worth $100 a spool, and he made it red. Now it's worth $150. Yes, it's the wrong color, but it's worth more. So Rameir considers him like a ganav. So ganav, if a ganav would do this, let's say a ganav steals a white spool of wool, and then he changes it to red. So he's mashbiach it. He improved it. So what happens? He has to give back $100 worth of white wool, and he keeps the profit. That's what a ganav does. So says Rameir, the made samri in, the made samri shivcheloi. He doesn't have to give the. Yeah. What? The black and red? Yeah. We're gonna see. That's what I'm saying. I'm explaining. He's a shtickle Israeli-ish. He says, I know better. I know what color you need. That's what he says. It's not toast. He did it. It's a shtickle gneva. That's what it is. What? Yeah, but I'm saying when you're not around, you didn't have a chance. You didn't have a choice. Even you told him this. He writes the order down. Yeah. I'll do black. Sure. You come back. He gives you red. Says Gemara, this is not such a good one. But anyways, the dialogue was still tired. This guy tells his wife, "Come to the window. I want to show you what I got you. I got you a birthday gift." So she comes to her. She says, "You see that red Lamborghini over there? Yeah, that's the exact color of the sweater I got you." Now, if Rameir holds that when you make a change in the object, nothing happens, it remains, the guy just got the joke. So at the end of the day, since he made a change, since change is nothing according to Rameir, it doesn't matter if you change it. So you took white, he made it red. Who gained? The owner gained, not you, not the ganav. So you should have given him everything. Why is he keeping $50 profit? So So you see that in fact, Rameir throughout Shas holds that when you make a change to something, it becomes that person's object. The owner of the dyeing store, he gets to keep the whole spool of red wool. He just has to pay for the original price, the 100. The 50 he keeps himself. V'hacha, in our sugi, knasu the kakanes, shmamina. Okay, so we asked originally, is it a knas? Why is it when a person steals a cow and the cow gave birth, Rameir says pay back the cow with the baby? The answer is because it's a knas. Not because he in fact told that a shinoi doesn't do anything. A shinoi does something. It becomes yours. But we also have to punish a ganav. When it comes to the dye factory, we're not going to punish the guy. He wasn't amazed. He thought he knows better. It's called a shaygig. Some say halay boila. That wasn't our question, whether or not it's a knas or Rameir holds that a shinoi is koina, but over here it's not koina. Halay boila. Because Rav himself flipped it around. Tani Remember before we said there's a distinction between a slave and a cow. Now Rav says no. According to Rameir, there's no distinction. They're both the same. That you pay from the moment that you stole it. Meaning that shinoi is kaina. When you steal something and you make a change in it, it's yours. Therefore you pay only from the time that it was stolen. You don't pay what it's worth today. The Chacham are the ones that make a distinction. You say slaves, you say Haresh Chol Fanecha. So of course, Rameir is the one that holds that the change is a change. And that's why slave, cow, you pay Kshas Zela. But in the Brisa, you stole with the wool, Knas the Kakonesley. It's a special Knas. Kika Bailan. So what is the question? This is the question. Kika Kanes have been amazing. Just a completely different question. When is there a knas? When do I penalize the guy? In all cases, or only in Mezid, but not a shaygi? Kika God has been amazing. I'll show you like kanes. I will show you nami kanes. Tashma. Chamisha govim min hamechurorim ve'eluhen. So mechurar means something that's not meshubad. Typically, when you buy something from somebody, there's a shiabud. So I could come after that property on all real estate. If you owe me money, I could come after your property. I buy something from you, I come after the property. But there are 5 cases where you can't come after property. You can only come after property that I own, not property I sold. To understand this, you have to go back to the story of Ramat Bet Shemesh of Ma'aseh Shaya. A guy comes and he says, I want to rent your apartment. How much is it? The guy gives him a price. Real story. So he says, you know what? I want to live there for 3 years. I want to give you 3 years in advance rent. Right now, 3 years in advance. So the guy says, wow, 3 years in advance, great. He gives him the 3 years in advance and he never moves in. What does he do? He puts a sign somewhere, I have an apartment for sale. And he goes ahead and he sells this guy's apartment with a crooked lawyer. He was able to sell the guy's apartment. The guy that owned the apartment never found out. Why? Because you have 3 years. He couldn't care less about the apartment. Never heard from the guy. Everything's quiet. 3 years later, he wakes up and says, oh, I haven't heard from my guy. Let me go. He can't reach him. So he goes, knocks on the door. And some different person opens up the door. Yeah, can I help you? He says, what do you mean, can I help you? It's my, I bought, no, it's a whole fight. Unfortunately, the people that bought the house had to move out. They bought a stolen property. They had to move out. So the question that we're talking about right here is, what about all the improvements these people made in the apartment? When you buy a brand new apartment in Eretz Yisrael, it doesn't come with air conditioning. It doesn't come with bars in the windows. It doesn't come painted or nothing. So they invested a lot of money in the apartment. The actual apartment, they have to give it back. What about the air conditioning? What about this? It comes out to tens of thousands of dollars, right, Michael? Basic stuff it doesn't come with. I rented an apartment from Mendy once. It's not Lashon Hara Mendy. So he gave me the keys, and I didn't have a chance to go into the apartment. So I go there at night. I go, turn on all the lights. Nothing. Can't see anything. I thought maybe it's the breaker. I go to the breaker box. Everything's working. Bring your flashlight. All the bulbs are gone. The renter took every single bulb out because they're worth money. It's my bulbs. I'm not going to leave bulbs in there. My Shaya. Not Mendy's fault. The guy that rented before me from Mendy. That's what happened. Anyway, so that's the mice over here. Peiros v'shevach peiros. What about the produce that comes off and the shevach of the peiros? In other words, we'll see in a second. Let's say these people. Let's say the people that bought the house from the Ganav, they rented it out. So that's shevach of peiros. Now there's profits to the fruit. So that we for the air conditioners and all that, we can't go after real estate that was sold. We could go after the actual person if he has any money in his account, the Ganav, this thief, whatever you want to call him, con artist, etc. But you can't go after the con artist's property in order to pay for the air conditioners and the bars and whatever else to put into this property. No, the light fixtures, even in America, you have to write it down, and every contract says dishwasher. But it's normal here to leave your dishwasher in the refrigerator and this. Over there, you mishugging and leave a refrigerator. I'm not even talking about the refrigerator. They take plastic things off the ceiling, like little things. Like it's going to cost me $100 just to this. What do you just leave it there? No. So, it's so a person accepts upon himself to support his stepdaughter. A person owes money. It doesn't say in the document that you can go after the real estate. Typically, a woman goes after the husbands or the yarshim. She goes after property, but it doesn't say in the ksuba that there's a charayas. But we already said the raya from Peres to Shavach Peres. We'll get to it. So this is actually this is a Muslim in Shas. Achrai is Tol Sofer. And that is, if you see in a document that typically has a warranty, what do you call it? How do you say Achrai in English? Not a guarantee, but okay. There's a lien. Called more like a lien on a property. A typical ksuba has a lien on your property. So if you don't see it there, you should just know it was a mistake from the cipher. He forgot it. But Remeir says, no, it's not a mistake. It's on purpose. And there's no Christ. Remeir. Who says it? Remeir. And one of the cases is the air conditioners and the bars. What's the case? He stole a piece of real estate. That's the case. He sold something that's not his. And that person that bought it improved it. When he collects, he has to collect from the principal he takes from real estate. There's a sheva and the rest, the improvements he cannot take from real estate, he takes from whatever he could take from real estate. But as long as it comes from the con artist's property that he owns currently, not something he sold. Why? Because people that buy from him don't know exactly that there's improvements. They know part of the story, but they don't know all of it. The Asabal Aro, the Gemara explains, because the owner of the property comes, he comes and he takes the whole apartment back with the air conditioners. So Gemara says, aren't we talking about a case of a shagig? You're asking me, is there a knas when it comes to somebody that's a shagig? He doesn't know. So isn't this a case of a guy that's a shagig? He doesn't know that karka and exelas and exelas. He doesn't know the whole halacha over here. Steal a karka, not steal a karka. Nevertheless, Remeir holds that you can come and take the improvements also. Remeir gave the guy a big knas even when he was a shagig. Amri, so the Gemara says, no, loy. We're talking about a case of amazing. That the guy knew the halacha. The yoda, he knows that he can't steal property. Nevertheless, he took a chance. He bought it from off a Ghana, and he improved it. And therefore, there's a knas. Why? Because it was amazing. We still don't know whether a shaygi gets a knas. Sponsored by, thank you, by Greg Haber for the success and the return of all the chayalim and our hostages and for schut for Klal Yisroel. Shema, back to the story with the red frock. He brought his thing in to his wool to be dyed red, and the guy dyed it black. Shachar tzvay adam. Remeir oyemer noisily the meitzamri he only has to pay for the original, the meitzamri in the meitzamri shivchaloi, and he doesn't have to pay for the profits that he put into it. What's the word? Whatever he improved. But if it's true, this guy, let's call him a shoygig. Says Rashi, you see Rashi 3 lines down. He's considered a shoygig. Why? There's many people. There are many people that don't know that if a person tells you to do something with his object, that you're not allowed to change it. A lot of people don't know this. Unbelievable. So, yeah, exactly. This is the Rashi for the Israelis, but he says a lot of people. It's a certain mentality. I believe they do it because they have a lot of achdus over there. People care over there. They do.
Sometimes you show like you have better knowledge. That's my value.
I want to be allowed in zechus. Fine. We'll talk about it later.
It's in America.
Fine. I go upon him. The meitzamri shivchaloi v'yisok, and if you hold that you should also give a person that did a b'shayge a knas, so this guy that owns the dye factory should get penalized. He shouldn't get any gain here at all. He should have to pay the improvement to the owner of the wool and not keep it for himself. You see from here the mayor did not give a knas to somebody that did it by mistake, and the guy that owned the dye factory is a mistake, and that's why he didn't penalize him. But now Rav Shimon Omer, you saw the 2 shittas, and we said that the Gemara is going to explain my benai. Omer Azvitz, we have 2 pshatim. That when there's an improvement that's on the animal after he stole it, here the animal's full of wool, he didn't shear it off yet. It's on the animal. The animal, let's say, is pregnant, so it became pregnant while it was in the ganav's possession. So there we have a machloikis. Review the savar din exalu. Review the holds. Give it back to the original owner. You didn't take it off. There's no change. Shimon savar the gazlan havi. Even though the wool is still on top of the animal, you cannot. The ganav can keep it for himself. Very interesting. Certainly, if it's not connected to the animal, but even if it's on the animal, it's considered the original owners. Rav Papa argues the kula alma shevach shal gavik zela the gazlan havi. No. Logically speaking, look, the guy stole it. It's already in his possession. It improved in the ganav's domain. Give it to the ganav. So what is the shaila? We have a shaila. Typically, if I take your animal to watch, you pay me to watch, and I improve your animal in my domain. It got pregnant. It has more wool. So there's a norm in the world. Some places they give that guy that watching the animal, they give him a third. Sometimes they give him 25%. Sometimes it's 50%, but there's a scale. Depends on the place. So review the savar shevach shal gabik zelo kuli the gazanav. Review says no. Since the guy stole it, it goes 100% to the ganav. Reb Shimon savar the mechlish review the shagol gazlan. It's only a shaila how much the gazlan gets, but he definitely gets something. Tanan goes up over the saras of yolda. So this is the case we had already on Amud Aleph. If he stole a cow and it got pregnant by him, and it gave birth. Maybe we didn't have this. This happened by him. It became full of wool when it was still by the ganav. This is a serious change. So he only has to pay what it was worth when he stole it. Yolda in, lo yolda, hadrabeina. So if it gave birth, then it says, right? That's what it says. Yolda. It gave birth. That's why I go to the Shasak Zela. But what if it didn't give birth? Hadrabeina. It seems like that if it stayed pregnant, then the original owner gets it. Bishlam the Rav Zvid. Rav Zvid said we have a machloikis when it's still pregnant right now. That according to Rabbi Yehuda, that the animal's pregnant. So give back the whole animal to the original owner. So this fits in perfect to Rabbi Yehuda. El Rav Papa Domar, the Gazanavi. Rav Papa says everybody agrees that if the animal is pregnant right now, it goes to the Ganav. The question is how much. Hamani loy Rabbi Yehuda v'loy Rabbi Shimon. According to Rabbi Yehuda, the entire thing goes to the Ganav. According to Rabbi Shimon, a part of it goes to the Gazan. So it's neither of them. According to Rav Papa, says the Gemara, Rav Papa will answer that even if it didn't give birth, you're making a deal. It says if it gave birth, then it goes to the, what's the case here? Tnan goes up part of the Haber of Yolda. Goes up. So if it gave birth, it got pregnant by him and gave birth by him, so he keeps the Vlad. So why is it talking about a case that he gave birth? It goes to the Gazlan. In all cases, whether it gave birth, whether it didn't give birth, even if it's pregnant right now, the profit, the improvement goes to the Gazlan. You asked me a question. Why did it say only case that it gave birth? Oh, the obvious, the typical Gemara answer. I did not say Yolda, not say Nami Yolda. We wanted official gave me a great word. There's a word to be symmetrical, but that's not the word he used. But just that the Mishnah the words should match up, the Reish and the Seifa. So that's why we used the same word. But it also means when it's not what?
Parallel?
No, much fancier word that they don't have in Panovich. Parallel they have in Panovich still. Vadik Tani Yolda, I did not say Reish Yolda, not say Seven Am Yolda. Typical official word that nobody knows besides the three people that read the dictionary, whatever. Thank you for the Rabba. Rabbi Shimon Oimer Roy Noisa Kilu Yishuma Esla Bekesel Lemechsel Shlishu Revia. It says mamish like Rabbi Papa. That what? Rabbi Shimon says that the Gazlan gets a third, a half, like Rabbi Papa explained, that it goes based on what city you live in. Omer Ravashi Abinabir Rav Kani Boilon says Ravashi when we were by Rav Kani's yeshiva, we asked the question. Rabbi Shimon Omar, we're almost done. Rabbi Shimon, good, 52 minutes. Or Rabbi Shimon Omar Lemechsel Shlishu Revia Hu the Shokal Gazlan. According to Rabbi Shimon, that says that when the animal improves by the Gazlan, he gets at least a third, a quarter, a half. Now, what does he get? Does he get cash or he gets a part of the animal? Maybe cash or he's a real partner. We could resolve the question from Shmuel. It says three people that we do an assessment and we give them cash. So the answer is going to be, we don't give him part of the animal, we give him cash. We know that firstborn gets two parts. So let's say there's two brothers. The older one gets 2/3, the younger one gets a third. So what happens if the property improves? So we know this Yisrael. I'll tell you what it is. You'll tell me how you say it in the Lashon of the Gemara. Any improvement that happens after the father's death, the Bechar doesn't get 2/3. He only gets 50-50 with his brother. He doesn't get two parts. What is that called? Very good. So Mela, now that there was an improvement here, the Bechar wants to take 2/3. No. He pays off his brother, he gives him back the money that he deserves. He doesn't get 2/3 of the improvement, he only gets 2/3 of the original, whatever the father left over. But the improvements later on, he has to pay back his brother in cash. You see over here that you pay back when you have a problem like this. You don't make the person a partner in the actual chavetz. You just pay him off with money. Shalom Yisrael, Rabbi Sai, have a wonderful day. Tomorrow, Be'ezer Hashem, the same exact time at 9:00, and I'm going to try to do a shir. I don't know if we're going to do it live though, in Hebrew. Not yet sure what time, but thank you very much for coming out. Bring a friend, put on your status.